Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It is a fresh morning today, hopefully not too windy, fairly bright, but it's pretty cold. It's about 2 degrees out there, so winter running conditions, but not too bad. So it's a Wednesday wellbeing today, where we discuss all things kind of wellbeing and mindset, and today's topic is about the importance of asking for help and the reasons why. So as always, if you like today's video, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So, the importance of asking for help and the reasons why. So this is a mindset topic today, and it's a really, really important one, and it's something that I struggle with probably more than most. And when I break it down, it probably comes down to the dreaded entrepreneurial sin of pride. So this is like, entrepreneurial pride is something that gets so many of us. You know, we set out on this pathway to being a successful entrepreneur, and the image we portray, as soon as you say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, most people will assume that, oh, he's successful, he's doing really well. And quite often, in fact, probably far more often than one would think, when you look at the stats of 1 in 10 businesses lasting the test of time, it's a pretty damning statistic. So, truth be told, if you're an entrepreneur, you're 90% likely to fail. So we get this kind of persona about ourselves that think, oh, entrepreneur, people think we're successful. Well, in actual fact, the vast majority of entrepreneurs are anything but successful, and that's a pretty scary thought. But however, anyway, we go back to this persona of giving an impression of success. And yes, there is an importance in that, because when you're an entrepreneur and you're growing, your people who are working with you, are investing in you, are basing, you know, forecasting your future potential. So if you come in saying, oh yeah, you know, I'm a struggling entrepreneur, I'm hand to mouth, I can barely make ends meet at the end of each month, then it's highly unlikely you're going to inspire anybody to kind of work with you and to help you on your journey. And ultimately, I've talked about this on numerous occasions, people are one of the key foundations of, you know, systemizing a business for scaling and growth. So the three of those are systems and process, number one, people, number two, data and automation, number three, and people are a key fundamental. So you have to be able to influence people. So by coming across to somebody who's not successful or struggling, or you don't inspire them enough, then it's highly unlikely you're going to get people to buy into your journey. So I think that's probably why so many entrepreneurs will make themselves out to be far more successful than they really are. And I'm probably more guilty of entrepreneurial pride than many. And the reason being is that, you know, when you've built a portfolio to 96 properties, people just automatically assume, oh, he's wadded, he's super rich. When you actually break it down, the cash flow of my portfolio is nowhere near what it should be. And when I say not what it should be, there's a lot of equity in the portfolio, which is the legacy planning, which is key. But cash is king. You can't stick your card into a property, your cash card into a property, and pull out the equity. It's illiquid. So although that's nice on the balance sheet, it's not cash in the bank. And you know, I've documented my story fairly well in that my portfolio is all over the country. You know, the stuff that's local that we do HMOs or 2 squared model are all kind of the ones that are generating the income. All the peripheral stuff wipes its feet. Quite a lot of it's loss making, and people aren't aware of that. They think 96 properties, oh, it's wooded. They don't think that that's probably somewhere in the region of 200 plus tenants. They don't probably think that that's nearly 100 boilers that could break down. That's near 100 properties of of maintenance, headache, tenant churn, tenant move-outs, move-ins, costs of a team to kind of support that business. People don't realise all of that. So, but instantly, they've put me kind of on this pedestal. I've taken action to build that portfolio, and I'm immensely proud of what I've done over the past, but I'm not at the level that so many people think I am. Now, I have a wealth of business experience. I've built multiple businesses into profitable states, but nothing that I would sing home about. I mean, I've built systems outsourcing. We turned that into a six-figure business, and it's in a great shape, and I'm sure my ex-business partner will be taking it from strength to strength. I've got other businesses that I've turned into six-figure businesses. My property business has been a seven-figure business. So I have got experience of growing businesses, but when you talk about turnover or revenue in terms of the size of a business, that's not the profit margin. What it all comes down to is the profit margin. And I can tell you now, the profit margin on my portfolio it can be minuscule when you look at the heavy overheads, fixed costs, variable costs that kind of come with it. Whereas I have an online business that our education company, that we're generating around £7,000 a month at the moment, but the overhead on that is next to nothing. So the margin is, the profit margins are like 80-90%, which is huge. Whereas for a seven-figure business, and you're turning over maybe, I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10% net profit margin at the most. It's very it's kind of eye-opening. So there's 10 times the revenue almost, but the actual money that you can pull from it isn't nowhere near 10 times the difference. So it puts it in perspective. And I know I'm waffling on a bit here, but what I'm trying to do is trying to explain to you how entrepreneurial pride gets in the way. So people have automatically assumed that I'm X because I've got Y, but the reality of it is it's not a lie, but the perception that people have isn't a true reflection on the reality, and then that causes me to think that I need to live up to this persona or perception, and as a result you then fall into the realms of entrepreneurial pride. It's got some dogs about to morning. Whoa. Thought I was going to get savage there. But anyway, so I digress. But anyway, that's how kind of entrepreneurial pride has festered for me. Now, yes, look, it's all relative. Compared to some people, I'll be super successful, but compared to others, I'm only just getting started, and you could argue I'm closer to failure than I am to success. And so it all comes down to perception, and it takes quite a big person to kind of talk about this and realise the dreaded sin of entrepreneurial pride, and how it can cause so many issues for you as a business owner. And how can it cause these business issues? Well, for starters, I set this blog up to help entrepreneurs, business owners overcome stress, anxiety, overwhelm by using exercise as a mechanism to control, manage and thrive under the emotions. But the reason so many entrepreneurs freeze or bury their heads in the sand is because of entrepreneurial pride. They've been put on a pedestal, or people perceive them to be successful, and then when they need help, they're scared to ask of it because of the public perception. And it's a real hard one to overcome, and this will hopefully change that, and hopefully help you change the way you kind of approach things. For one, that statistically, and there's a lot of evidence that backs this up, if you ask for help, people are 3 times more likely to give you help than you expect. 3 times more, just by asking. So if there's a rule, method to a learning outcome, or a moral to this story, is ask for as much help as possible, and you'll be amazed how much help is available for you. And we're not talking about paid help here. We're talking, oh guys, I'm struggling, this is what I'm having issues with, can anyone help me? And for all of the issues that we have as entrepreneurs, when we talk about entrepreneurial pride, we are a very helpful bunch of people, or a demographic, because each and every one of us, no matter who you are, what level you are, whether you're at the top of the the ladder, the super successful billionaires of the world, or whether you're just an entrepreneur just getting started, we've all experienced these emotions, these stresses, the anxiety, the overwhelm of being an entrepreneur. And we all know how hard it is, and we all know how it's a roller coaster of emotions, ups and downs, ups and downs. I mean, my last few weeks have been highs and then big lows and highs and big lows. But you understand that journey part, that's just part of the journey. But the beauty of it is that the empathy that entrepreneurial demographic can give you means that they're more likely to help. And the prime example, this vlog. Okay, yes, there will be indirect benefits to the different businesses I operate from running this vlog. But what do I say at the end of it every day, and there's no catch in this at all. I offer to help anybody who's struggling with entrepreneurial pride, struggling with overwhelm, stress, anxiety in entrepreneurship. I offer my time for a free call because I've been there and it's horrendous if it goes wrong. Horrendous. You can borderline lose everything you've worked so hard for. You lose friendships, you lose partnerships, your businesses fail. It's grim. And what I know now, I'm not saying I'm not going to fail in future ventures, because that would be a lie. It's highly likely I'll fail at future ventures, but I have a much better coping mechanism and a much better way to deal and plan for those failures, which will mitigate my risks and exposure, and also keep me on the progression rather than the regression. And I think that's really, really important to understand. So, my message to you is pretty clear. Don't forget the stat I've just given you. That people, if you ask for help, people are 3 times as likely to give you that help than you would expect. And that's just for asking. There's no price to ask. So ask away. The more you ask, the more help you'll get, the more you'll overcome this entrepreneurial pride where you freeze, you bottleneck everything, everything rests with you. It's a release mechanism. Asking for help is a release mechanism. And when stress builds up, if you don't have a release valve, it's game over, because something will break. If you have a release valve and you appreciate that it's just part and parcel of the journey, and you have a process for dealing with it, you can manage more. You can still keep clarity. You can keep focus, and you can move forwards. So it's really, really important. So the lesson from today is ask for help. It is one of many release mechanisms to control those emotions of stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, and overcoming that dreaded sin of entrepreneurial pride. So I hope that's been useful. It's a real mindset one here, and understanding the importance of mindset, because everything starts with the mind, and the decisions you make will come from your mind. So it's really, really important you understand this, and don't just think, like I did not too long ago, oh, fluffy mindset crap. That's what I'm mentally resilient. Yeah, you might be, until you get rocked enough times or kicked while you're down enough times to realise that, you know what, I need to look at myself in a different light. So, food for thought. But anyway, as always, if you've got any questions on this, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger question, I'll still try and respond, but I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. If it's not for you or it's relevant, just unfollow, no problem. I don't want to clutter up people's feeds unnecessarily, but do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Runpreneur, where all of these episodes are catalogued nice and neatly by topic. So just because something I'm talking about today is relevant doesn't mean that there's other episodes in there that are going to help you immensely at some point in the future. It's completely free, so don't miss out on that. And also, please remember to join the Facebook Runpreneur community group, whereby I host free resources. The first one's been released, which is my 70-step process to social media content repurposing. How I do this vlog, it goes out on all the channels, and all I do is just record a video and drop it into a folder. The whole team does the rest. So hopefully that's going to be interesting for you to have a look at some point in the future. So all that's left to say really is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up, as I've said, to help entrepreneurs, business owners overcome the emotions of stress, anxiety and overwhelm by using exercise, in my case running, as a release mechanism to control, manage and thrive under these emotions that every single entrepreneur and business owner will experience. The difference between success and failure can often be down to how well the entrepreneur deals with these emotions. The ones that do it well have this controlling valve, this release mechanism that allows them to process their emotions, analyse them, gain clarity and move on to bigger and better things. The ones that don't, who struggle with entrepreneurial pride, bottle it all up, freeze, don't talk to anybody, and the pressure builds and builds and builds and builds, and then something breaks. And unfortunately, that's normally either the entrepreneur has a breakdown or the business has a breakdown. And either or of these scenarios, it's likely it's going to have a terminal negative impact on your business and its ability to last the test of time. So, I have been there. I've lost multiple businesses because of entrepreneurial pride, but I've learned so much from those experiences, and I wouldn't want anybody to go through them unnecessarily. So my pledge to you is, if you are someone who's struggling with entrepreneurial pride, if you have no one to talk to, you're bottling all these pressures up, drop me a message. As a stranger, absolutely no catch here whatsoever. I'll jump on a call and I'll try and give you a few hints and tips of what you can do into your daily kind of life, what you can integrate into your daily life that will hopefully help you manage and control these emotions and get you back on the path to success. And I always said that if this vlog just helps one entrepreneur or saves one business, then it's 1,000,000% been worthwhile. So, as always, all I have left to say is, remember, if you like this video, please remember to give it a like and a subscribe. If you want to see more similar content, please check out the playlist link below where you can binge different topics. And I'll end as always with stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.